Yo, what is up, everybody? How's everyone doing? Welcome to another awesome episode of the TraderPrad Show. It's going to be Monday, November 13th, and we're all here to gather around for, everything stock market. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing weekend, got to hang out with your family, play with your dog, whatever it is that you love to do, just dive more into the market and just be excited about the stock market overall. Whatever it is, we finally get the market back, and hopefully you got to kill it on the day today for yourself. I didn't really do too much today, so I don't really have much to talk about in the stock market for myself. But I guess it's just Mondays, right? Mondays are just so iffy. I'm usually not prepared for Mondays either, so I'm glad I just kind of stayed away from the overall market. Didn't really do too much. But I have an idea now, like something that I've been lacking for a long time on the stock market, which is actually having a defined playbook and only trading said playbook. I often find myself very jumping all over the places, taking random setups. I do trade around my levels, but I'm often like taking random trades just because I'm bored, and it causes me to lose a lot of money for no reason. So within after 3 years of being in the market, I think it's time to start putting our skills to a better use. We have amazing risk management. We have amazing research skills that we put into the market every time stock moves around and gives us levels to trade off of, which come to play a lot of times too. So we need to put all those skills to a better use. So I'm thinking we kind of set a playbook up today instead of really talking about our trades on the day, or looking for the trades tomorrow, which we will be doing later on in the day. I want to use the first half of the stream over here with you guys today, basically creating more a streamlined playbook. That way, you guys can see how I'm looking to structure myself going forward, and hopefully you guys will get an idea off of that, create a structure, create a playbook, and stick to that playbook, something that has made you money, and something that you would like to keep on doing in the future. And obviously everything will be needing tweaking as we keep trying it, and keep testing out the waters. But this way we finally have a checklist kind of system, an entry criteria and exit criteria. No reason to just randomly get into positions and then cry about not holding the whole move, and then randomly getting stopped out and saying, hey, we were in the right direction and whatnot. So this is to help us create a little bit more base, a foundation, something that we should have done long time ago. Honestly, something that when we read the book, the playbook, a long time ago, I think year one or something. So going off of that over there, I see a lot of people in the chat. Dieter, Angry Buddha, CDP saying another red day for you. Self-confidence is shattered. Should I stop trading for a while? It's taking a toll on me. Ooh, CDP, man. I mean, if you feel like that, then you might just want to go take a break, right? A lot of people reset after a break, come back and feel great. um yeah, go take a break if you need to, if you feel like it, but don't beat yourself up. Markets are forever hard to everybody, and it might seem like easy for you one day, and the next day will be really hard. So that's why today's stream, I want to change it up a bit. I don't want to just constantly just show you my trades and where we don't evolve off of it. It's time for us to evolve, change as an ecosystem together, as a friendly circle together, and look for a more systematic way to take our trades. One of the most systematic ways that I'm actually going to steal off of, and take off of, it's just something that I've been using this whole time. It's going to be the anchored VWAP system, and it's going to be specifically chapter 8 from that anchored VWAP book. I'm not going to show you the book. Obviously, that's going to be illegal for me to show you the online copy that I have, the ebook copy. But if you guys want to go check it out, you know what the book is called. It's by Brian Shannon. You can find out the book for yourselves. But you guys are gonna see me kind of playbook those notes, take notes, kind of make a system off of that chapter, because that chapter in specific is talking about day trading and what to look for, what not to look for, especially when the stock is on a day 2 setup, day 3 setup, or when stocks go from red to green or green to red after especially having a move on the first day off some catalyst. So we'll go through this and show you what I've already started. I've kind of done a little bit of the work for us over here behind the screens as we were getting set up for the stream. We have a couple of the notes already taken down, and we'll talk about these notes over here that we have for you guys already, and we'll finish up the notes, and then we'll look for these trades on the market. And I think a couple of these playbooks already showed up on the market pretty beautifully. So let's start off with what I have over here on the thing. Day 2 upside action follow through. Basically, what you're looking for is who has control. Do the buyers have control? Do the sellers have control? People love to put lines on the charts. The horizontal lines, they do work. I throw them on all the time and call myself price predominance when they come into play. But you want to really focus on who's in control. Are the buyers in control? Are the sellers in control? And a good indicator to tell you who's in control is actually the daily VWAP, right? Is the stock trading above today's VWAP? Is it trading below today's VWAP? Are we getting sold off of that indicator? And when you're seeing those type of actions come into play, you can kind of couple it with other things behind it. At least that's what the book talks about. So combining it with a couple other things over there, you can see, can the stock hold above prior day's VWAP after early morning weakness? So let's say the stock is actually trading above. Let me go back to I was watching a different video over here from another trader. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Let me hide everything, hide all indicators. So after yesterday's move or Friday's move where the market rallied drastically to the north side, what are we seeing? So maybe we do need to not hide all, show them all a little bit. So how is the market trading? We do see the market trading below today's VWAP, right? Maybe we can turn off after hours. We do see the market trading below today's VWAP, reclaiming yesterday's VWAP, and then just marches straight up to the north side, and then actually reclaims today's VWAP too. And this is a perfect trade that the chapter 8 book talks about, which I missed out on the day today. And it doesn't really help us to know things like this and not trade it. I'm looking at the book right now, the examples, picture perfect, where the stock, equity, whatever it is that you are looking to trade has a day 1 monster move on Friday. Day 2, we actually gapped down from the previous day's close. We trade below today's VWAP a little bit. We get to yesterday's VWAP. We reclaim yesterday's VWAP. Get to today's VWAP. Reclaim today's VWAP. Gives you 2 spots to enter this trade to the north side with really tight risk to reward. So you can enter somewhere over here after we reclaim on the 5-minute chart with the stop under the low a day. After that, you can move your stop up higher and enter somewhere around these areas with the stop right under today's VWAP, giving you 2 beautiful entry spots. And then afterwards, we reclaim today's high. We push up to yesterday's close, and we fail to get above yesterday's close, which is what, 378.39. Today's high is 378.28. So instead of adding over here, you basically start looking for your outs in these areas, giving you a beautiful risk to reward. For the first long over there, let's put something over like that. Not that much risk over there. And for your first reward up to yesterday's close, you got about where's your risk to reward over there? Almost 4 risk to reward on that trade on this ad over here. And if you were to get long over there with the risk over there, then you got another 8R risk to reward trade over there with a better risk reward, because you don't really have to give it all the way to the low a day, at least according to the book. So I recognized this a little bit later in the day when I was, going through the market, going through the trades on the stock market. Even Tesla did something very similar, pretty damn similar over here. So this is the 13th move. We opened up below. Notice how we reclaim yesterday's VWAP, get above today's VWAP, reclaim today's VWAP. So the opening selling, whatever happened, I actually got short on the opening selling, and I only made like $1.30 per share on that short. And I was thinking, why is Tesla not selling off? Like, why is Tesla doing this? And I could not get into the long. And later on, I was looking at my charts and I was going, wow, I missed an amazing long opportunity on Tesla today, and it would have been a banger long. And you can see how after the opening weakness, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the buyers come in. We are not able to get above yesterday's best average price on the stock, showing you buyers coming back in. And then it's not rejecting today's VWAP, it's actually holding today's VWAP on the way back down and testing it. So it gives you a long opportunity somewhere in these areas later on for a tight risk to reward, for a beautiful win opportunity all the way up to, I mean, God, what the hell, $226. So that trade was pretty hurting to watch, and I couldn't pull myself to go long on Tesla for some reason. I don't know why. But we missed out on this, and this is exactly what the book talks about, buying that red to green move. Even though this didn't really gap down from the Friday's close, we sold off below Friday's close. Friday's close 214.65, which actually gave me an indication to go short. So I was short around 215. I got up to what, 213 or so. I think the stock wasn't trading below 212, 213. I think it was 213 where I ended up closing my position. So I got out of that short. And later on, it did go all the way up to 211 or whatever, but that bounce coming back in is that playbook setup that we're looking for. So if we start actually playbooking these trades and start looking for these more often, we'll be hopefully be able to catch them more and more. So obviously right here, upside action follow through. Can the stock hold above prior day's VWAP after early morning weakness? Check mark, right? If yes, the buyers have gained control. Can the stock hold above daily VWAP and not trade under? If yes, could get, if yes, long day to play in action. Okay, and then the entry checklist over here, purchase the stock as it reclaims above today's VWAP, the daily VWAP, and the place stop right below it. So if you were looking for that long, you would have looked long somewhere over here and put a stop right under there on Tesla. So let's throw in that same barriers. Your stop is right there, your entry somewhere there, and your targets, I mean, are dependent on how you want to exit. But let's say you held it all the way to the north side, you got a beautiful 4:5. But I don't know if you would have had a plan to hold it all the way up there. So let's say somewhere up to at least yesterday's high, which is a $6 move. That gives you $2.5 move over there to the north side. And then if you trailed your stops, you could have gotten a little bit more juice out of this stock. Probably got up to this much over here for juice and got stopped out once the stock trades below over here to the north side, to the south side, I mean, and maybe gotten 3.6 per risk to reward units, which is still monstrous, honestly, right? So Tesla giving us those opportunities, we just weren't able to recognize them at that moment and missed out. Now let's go see another side of the coin over here, where some stocks could not have probably helped you out, even though they held above yesterday's VWAP. So yesterday's VWAP, in case for AMD over here, we were dropping down, check, right? That check mark plays out. We got into yesterday's VWAP, check mark. We were holding it, but then we actually start selling off below today's VWAP the whole time. We were not able to have too much buying power above today's VWAP. So this one kind of negates the whole play for us. So how can we differentiate between AMD and Tesla or QQQ or whatever? Because QQQ actually looks a lot like Tesla, right? Holds yesterday's VWAP, holds today's VWAP, and launches up to the north side. Whereas AMD actually looks a little bit different, and this one could have given us some scalp longs off of this area, obviously, but we would have at the end of the day not been able to be in the winner. But I guess we could have seen that after the stock starts giving you lower highs and lower lows, you would have still been able to scalp out close to $1 per share every time it does pop off that level. But after seeing that it's giving you lower lows, lower highs, and lower highs, you would have probably jumped out of this trade. That would have been something to watch the stock after. But this holding of the yesterday's VWAP kind of gives us a little bit of confidence to get in that trade on AMD today. Does that look the same on Amazon, however? Okay, Amazon looks a little bit more like kind of what the book shows you on the textbook side a little bit, where Amazon trades a little bit lower. Yeah, I'm looking at the images right now where Amazon actually trades a little bit lower than yesterday's VWAP. Bounces off some significant level that we have mapped out. Looks like right in front of 140, 140.50. Bounces off in that level, reclaims today's VWAP, then reclaims yesterday's VWAP. But this one looks a little sketchy. I mean, yeah, reclaiming today's VWAP, you could have looked for a long somewhere here with the stop there. But are you really going to stop out before the stock tests 140 if you do get long here? So you're basically putting a stop at yesterday's low, or not even yesterday's low, Thursday's low. If you get in somewhere over here, that kind of ruins your whole risk to reward play. The fact that Amazon even traded open under yesterday's VWAP and today's VWAP, I guess after today's VWAP is reclaimed and goes up north, and the stock comes back over here and tests the stock somewhere over here with a tight stop over there, would make sense. But if you're getting in over here at 140, what's the low of day today? 140.67, let's say. Are you really not putting a stop at 140 or under 140? I don't think you're going to get the stopped out or put a stop under right over there. That would not make sense to me. So I don't know about Amazon at that moment. I would have obviously given it a little bit more risk. Let's go see maybe on Palantir. How does Palantir look? I know Palantir, we tried to trade that position today. Yeah, look at that. It does give you some trades off of that yesterday's VWAP. It bounces off of that, but then doesn't really do too much around today's VWAP. Just chops around, kind of just holds around yesterday's close. Yesterday's close 1967, today's close 1971. So we just chop around for the rest of the day, but looks like yesterday's buying kind of shows you that it reclaims it. We tried to reclaim above today's VWAP, but your stops would be somewhere down over here, and you would have got stopped out in profit if you started your trade over here. Maybe not in profit, maybe break even, but if you started your trade somewhere down over here, you would have gotten stopped out in profit at the end of the day. But the flat trade looks like. So if you pick the right stocks with the right RVOL, with the right catalyst in it, and especially if these stocks had some sort of a day 2 catalyst, day 3 catalyst, then these type of trades make more sense, because we're leaning on what happened last time, which is yesterday when the stock had actual news behind it. What happened yesterday on the stock? And are the people who were in control yesterday, are they still in control today? Especially after the morning shakeout, the when the short sellers come in and the profit takers come in, or whatever it is that comes into play. Does the stock get taken over control again by the previous day's control takers? Losing words over here. But the previous day's price action. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what the anchored VWAP book kind of tells us to look for. Is it holding previous day's VWAP? Are we getting above today's VWAP? Or if you're looking for the short side, is it selling off from previous day's VWAP? And then is it holding below today's VWAP, giving you more reason to get into a nice little tight risk to reward action over here? So we have a day 2 price action follow through and a day 2 downside price action follow through. Both of them basically have the same words, just flipped around a little bit to the long and to the downside, and we're looking for those movements coming into the market. In regards to the buy red to sell, it's kind of the same idea over there. Is the stock above daily VWAP, and is it holding below? I'm kind of just creating a checklist and a bookmark over here. Chapter 8 also talks about 3-day VWAPs and so on. I think I want to be a little bit more focused on just day 1 and day 2. So we're going to look for stocks that kind of had action today and see if we can find some of these setups over here that we already have mapped out on them tomorrow. And some of the stocks that will be having action day 1 tomorrow already, which is the earnings plays. So we'll be looking at some of the earnings plays, such as, let me quickly pull up the watch list for you. I think this is the watch list over here. I just was on a different notebook. The watch list November 13th. We have a couple stocks that we want to go ahead and chart and see how they might move around tomorrow, starting with FSR. FSR announced earnings today after hours. Rumble announced earnings today after hours. I don't think Rumble moves around, but we did find some stocks that moved around after hours. Surprisingly enough, DWAC coming into that basket of stocks. AIRE, I saw that one popped around pretty high to the north side with a lot of volume behind it. No real news that I found also, so we'll look at that. A bunch of other stocks that moved around from the last week's basket of earnings plays, and obviously our big tech basket, which we love so much to take a look at. Nothing really that stands out from today's move, unless you guys remember any specific stocks, so let me know and we'll put it up on the watch list over there. Peter saying no messages over there. Your message got redacted. Not sure what happened. Bought it, and my trades are more consistent and my stops are better placed. I suggest this, says Dieter. Hey, Dieter, giving a shout out to that book that I was talking about earlier, and the one that I'm actually making all my playbooks off of it right now. So yeah, go check that book out, guys. What up, Prad? Did you have anything to do with the lagging on Trader TV earlier this morning? 8. I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't work there anymore, man. Prad, Nostradamus, the man who sees tomorrow. I see nothing, mate. I see nothing. Great point on Tesla. Missed it too. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty sad to see what it did. I mean, yeah, I was short. Yeah, I made money. Awesome. This is the 1 minute chart. So I shorted somewhere around over here. Enjoyed the ride to the downside, but basically the stock held the earnings VWAP. It held the earnings VWAP, held yesterday's VWAP perfectly. The reclaiming of yesterday's VWAP and earnings VWAP should have been the entry signal itself by putting the stop right down over here, and then reclaiming today's VWAP. Buyers coming in, just going up and going up and going up. Should have just given you easy chances to get long so many times on long on Tesla today. I actually want to go check out if one of our follows, and I highly recommend this follow, Valentin, see how he traded Tesla today. I guess this is today. Okay, so he had the first short that I did, which I know about, and then he flipped long, but I was expecting him to maybe post an update on that long because the stock obviously ripped much higher later on in the day. Piked the shit out of the long, then missed my second entry by pennies. Could have been a much bigger W, but I'll take it. Yeah, okay, so I guess he did not have a second long on the day over there for that trade and missed out on a bigger move. No, can't complain on it. Missed his entry by pennies. He said, that'd be hurting, but at least he didn't tilt, he didn't chase, and he just kept his profits and kept his cool. But according to the textbook, we have some amazing long opportunities that we missed out over here. And based on, Friday's move, based on today's move, how does the stock look like tomorrow is a great question. So do we have a green to red move tomorrow on Tesla, or do we have a little bit of a red to green move and a continuation of today's craziness? The stock has been sold off quite drastically pretty recently, sold off quite hard, and the market is just constantly going up and up and up and non-stop up to the north side. Looks like it wants to go to all-time high. That's why today's thumbnail is the Martian movie and a little rocket emoji for the QQQ, because the market just wants to rip up to the north side. All-time high, not that far out for the market, ladies and gentlemen. Not that goddamn far out. So in this pace, we might just be able to hit that as some of these stops get blown out for the short side and we push up higher. Michael Burry stops getting blown out. Those infamous $1 billion that some basic I'm not gonna curse, but some basic ass article came out over there that said 1 billion. It's not actually 1 billion, or 500 billion or some stupid number like that, whatever the number was. But yeah, overall, once some of these short stops get burnt out, we might just get that overextension to the north side on the overall markets to the north side. Don't be caught off guard when that happens, because we're only looking at what? How much more is that? 23 points more on the market on QQQ. That's pretty crazy, honestly. That's pretty crazy. So shout out to the QQQ over there. Coming back to, I think we were looking for Tesla. Yeah, Tesla finally catching up to the market a little bit. Previously got slapped pretty hard. Now we're looking to see what happens tomorrow. Do we get a little bit of a sell-off? Does the stock get below today's VWAP? Right? Do we get below? Let me open the drawer a little bit. Maybe we can turn on extended market hours also. So does the stock open, get below today's VWAP, at which point today's VWAP should be something like this also, right? And then we get under it, and then we just keep going lower and lower and lower, right back to test the earnings VWAP. So that would be today's low. Is that a possibility? I don't honestly think so, right? But if that's not the possibility, then is this make a little bit more sense? The stock comes down, bounces off of this, reclaims today's VWAP, and maybe goes for another leg hunt, and then this is today's VWAP right there, kind of like what happened today, right? So if we look for that, then we got another same entry opportunity in this area, another entry opportunity right into yesterday's close, which would be, today's close, right into today's close, looking to see if that area can hold on, and we can actually see buyers coming into today's close area. And then seeing if buyers can pull into today's high also, taking it a little bit higher and higher and higher, more areas for the north side. But if these areas start seeing selling, where today's high sees selling, or today's close starts seeing selling, especially after reclaiming yesterday's VWAP, then the stock could easily just, trade sideways, where the VWAP just goes sideways, which is what Palantir looked like today, right? Kind of, we're now seeing patterns a little bit. So let's see if our idea makes sense. Where is Palantir trading below today's VWAP? Yes, but it's holding above yesterday's VWAP. Yes, and then eventually it just chopped around, right? We need to see those patterns kind of form in our head, and that would help us stay away from Tesla tomorrow and maybe look at a different stock that will set up a little bit better, right? Yesterday's VWAP a little bit far out. This is maybe based on pre-market action and whatnot. We'll see this line get caught up a little bit somewhere over here, and yet the stock bouncing from yesterday's VWAP and going higher, reclaiming today's VWAP also would look for a pretty nice long for tomorrow, especially if Tesla has more long into it. I do know we have a lot of bears in the stock market for Tesla, especially in our chat. We have a lot of bears for Tesla in our chat. You guys hate Tesla for some reason. More importantly, I'm looking at the what's her face? Momo. Almost forgot her name. Momo, who hates Tesla and said Tesla's going to $100 or something. If you need a hand, I can help you out your right. I love helping retail. No problem. Let's go, brother. Give me your playbook. CDP never stops. Oh, you're talking to CDP. Okay, yeah, help CDP out. I love Tobias. Tobias is a man. CDP never stop completely, just trade very small positions less frequently. I like that, TH. I like that suggestion very much. Cutting down size is a huge factor to help you build that confidence back up. And once you build that confidence back up, if it's the right market environment and if your playbook setups are showing up like how we are going through, make a playbook, make a setup. And if you don't know how to make a playbook, go buy some textbooks out there, read them, and see if their play style and their ideology in that book kind of matches what your trading style is. For me, this Anchored VWAP book really resonated quite a bit, mainly because I've been looking at VWAP for such a long time. I just never really got to understand it because VWAP is looked at it more on a daily time frame, but this book gives you understanding on a bigger time frame, how to look at it from different time periods too. It shows you a pretty a bigger picture way to look at VWAP instead of just simple basic way that the stock market kind of shows it to you. So I've been resonating with this book quite a bit. That's why I'm kind of basically stealing the playbook from there, and I'm going to be hunting for these trades more. But I would say the same thing for you to figure out. Go look for those books. If it's scalping, if it is swing trading, if it is maybe first start off with the book called The Playbook by Mike Bellafiore. Go find that book and start reading it. Go check that baby out. Do you have an affiliate link available for that book? I do not know, but that's probably a good idea to start making some money because I talk so much about it, huh? Go click on my Amazon affiliate link and make me some money. Yeah, no, I don't have that, but I should make that. Good call, Angry Buddha. Angry Buddha should just become my social media manager and my manager overall, because he keeps dropping that hot fire on how to bring more viewers in and bring more people. And I appreciate the love. Just shows that there are people who are looking out and are looking for the best for me, praying for the best for me. I appreciate it. Okay, why don't we get started, ladies and gentlemen, for some of the stocks that moved around tonight on the earnings reports, and we could possibly look for some move off of these trades tomorrow, right? So some of these trades are, cancel that one. Cancel that one. Why do I keep drawing those pictures? Some of these trades are earnings plays, so let's quickly put that one in earnings, rename that to earnings, and now this one's pretty important because we want to see what happens on the stock, especially off of that earnings anchored VWAP. Obviously this will be not as important tomorrow compared to how important it might be day 2 or day 3 in my opinion, but it'll still be a little important later on in the day as the stock might pop up and see what happens. Fisker has been beaten up quite badly recently and making a new 52-week low. I guess I'm not sure if it's a new all-time low. God damn, that's a new all-time low. So let's go back to the 1-minute chart. 350 is the after-hour low, and the previous all-time low is 368. So obviously a new all-time low coming in, and that could also give it a 40.11. Is that a SSR? Yeah, so the stock might just open up in SSR tomorrow. Let's go check out the earnings report, shall we? Looks like a miss on EPS and a miss on revenue. Quite a bit of a miss on both sides. Looks like the Pope Mobile is not helping them out, and they are crashing to the downside yet again. And 350 area, I guess 350 to 360, the previous 52-week low, and that's where the anchored VWAP is also for the earnings move. Will be something to watch out for. If the stock wants to pop into today's low somewhere around 375, you can see what happens around those areas too. Technically, we should not even pop up above 365 to 380 and push to 4. It doesn't make sense after the overall earnings move, but anything is possible, and that's what these areas start helping us out with. Does yesterday's VWAP come into play? And if it does, I mean, that would be a pretty ridiculous move. That would be a 10% move to the north side on this position. Wouldn't be a complete positive on the day for the stock, but a near 10% move. But if it does push over here, is the stock now trading above this area, or is it trading below this area, giving you an opportunity to get short, tight risk to reward, and a beautiful move right back to the south side? So I'll be interested to see what happens. Let me just quickly put that line in for myself. 930. Yesterday's. So interested to see what happens off of the yesterday's anchored VWAP on the stock, and what happens near the earnings anchored VWAP. Can we reject this area? Can we push below this area? And does our textbook chapter 8 play come into work over here? Do we start seeing some weakness around here? Do we start seeing weakness before that already over here and push even more to the downside, giving us some easy quick scalps to the south side later in the day on FSR? So a lot of questions. In my opinion, I think we'll start seeing this VWAP get dragged down quite drastically to the downside. If that's not happening, then there is quite possibly a good SSR long tomorrow right into this area or right into this area tomorrow. So FSR, one of our mainly watch stock tomorrow to see what happens. And according to our playbook, we're looking for a red to green move tomorrow, early weakness off the open, and then we reclaim above today's VWAP, and then reclaiming above today's VWAP. We're looking to see what happens after we push towards the earnings VWAP. that's a good idea over there for the long side. But if the stock is already trading below today's VWAP and reclaims it but pops over here and rejects it, that's possibly where you dump your long and start looking for a nice little short move to bite back to the downside on FSR. Rumble. No volume in Rumble, sadly, but nothing's really going on over here. We might just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But right now, Rumble not really doing a whole lot, sadly. I guess I can remove that line. Nothing's really going on. Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Rumble is not really doing too much. We do have this triple bottom near 444. I don't really see anything too interesting on Rumble. I guess, we'll have to wait and see if this company actually ends up making some money eventually. They're still losing money, which makes sense. I don't know that many people using Rumble platform. Do you know a lot of people streaming on Rumble or do you use Rumble yourself? I'm not sure. So we'll have to wait and see. The volume on this stock is also pretty damn light for a $4 stock. It's not bringing in the most exciting volume over here. So might just have to stay away from this one. I think FSR will be our go-to low price stock tomorrow, unless some interesting penny stock comes into play. I don't know if AIRE is a penny stock, but we'll take a look at it. All right, Home Depot. This one and the next few stocks that are coming up on the board over here actually come out with earnings report pre-market, so nothing really to say on them besides the fact that keep an eye out for them at pre-market. Their earnings report comes out, so maybe one thing that we do need to do real quick is find out what time their earnings call is. So let's go quickly scan for that. HD Home Depot earnings call calendar. 9 a.m. So that one's a little bit of a question mark over there, because if they're having a conference call at 9 a.m., that could, screw with your trades. Hopefully it's done before 9:30. Hopefully it's done before 10:30. Usually they take an hour or so. So you want to be quite careful if you're trading stocks that are announcing earnings stocks pre-market and also are, hello, where's the stock? You have to be careful to not get caught in those earnings call moves over there. C Gaming earnings call is bright and early in the morning, so I like it. 7:30. Don't have to worry too much about that one's call coming into way, especially if you're trading that one. And previously we have seen C Gaming help us out with pretty good trading opportunities. We'll see if it gives us some more opportunities tomorrow. And last but not least is PaySafe, who has their earnings call apparently at 8:30, which I don't think also is an issue. By 9:30 they should be done. So Home Depot is the only one that we kind of need to be careful for. But let's go check out what SE and PSFE's chart looks like. SE has a beautiful gap to make on the north side if we come out with a good earnings report, and I think that'll be fun to watch for. If the stock can get cleared past 48, can clear past 50, we have a good run up to $54, $55 over here to close that gap that we made on the previous earnings move on SE. So shout out to this stock. I think obviously keep that one on watch. PSFE near $10, but sadly does no volume at all. So unless the stock is bringing in volume pre-market, then we might be interested in it. We do have some previous zones and areas and levels that we have mapped out. I think I'm going to stay with these areas of interest and see what happens. I wouldn't doubt to pop into this area if the stock has positive earnings report, or a drop into the 52-week low slash a little bit lower if it has a negative report. I would need, however, a lot of volume for this stock to be interested in. It looks like on earnings days we do have a good ramp on earnings days, at least some of them. I'm not going to say all of them. Sometimes we have 1 million, sometimes we have none, and sometimes we have 2-3 million. So if tomorrow's earnings day ends up being something of an interesting report, maybe we see a good ramp in relative volume and allowing us to look for some trades over here on PaySafe. But all that only time will tell. Pre-market earnings report. Now, something that actually moved and the after hours. What is this stock? A recent IPO? Is it? Okay. Recent IPO'd on 23rd of October. Apparently popped around quite a bit. What the hell is this? $24 to $575 on like how much volume though? Can I get that day specific volume, please? All right. That day specific volume was 75K. What the hell is this? What the? I don't remember this at all. Oh, maybe was I in Washington for this? Maybe. But yeah, after hours, straight right back to the downside. Consolidate a little bit. What's that? It still was at $100. Okay, okay, okay. Uh, Craziness, a lot of craziness. But in the after hours today, popped up pretty good, huh? We like that. So let's go see if this stock can give us some trades tomorrow. Looks like it got a little wild today after hours. Uh, did this move start a little bit early? I guess it did start a little bit early. Okay, we're gonna. Yeah, I'm not sure if that one even makes sense. Maybe we just gotta put it off the highest volume node. I'm not sure this one make too much sense at all, honestly. So we're just gonna have to wait and see if this one does anything too interesting. I mean, it already brought in a lot more volume in the after hours today than it does bring in on a day-to-day basis, I guess. On an average 10 day average, it brings us 600,000 shares. Today after hours, it brought in 2.93 million shares of volume already. So clearly very active. Didn't really find too much on the news side. No alerts, no news or anything for AIRE. If we were to maybe go look over here, October 26th is the last time we see any news catalyst, and today is November 13th. So another pump and dump maybe. Not sure what the hell is really going on about Re-Alpha, but if there is any fun to be had tomorrow, obviously keep this one on watch, because looks like the stock can go very crazy very quickly. You want to be careful when stocks like these do some crazy stuff though, because you don't want to be trapped on the wrong side. Talking about being trapped on the wrong side, I thought DWAG brought in some volume in the after hours, or at least popped up. Looks like nothing to me, but they did have some sort of a news catalyst over here. Let's quickly go show you what that news catalyst was for DWAG. DWAG and Trump Media Technology Group announces filing of amendment number 1 to the Form S4 registration statement, marking a significant milestone in their proposed business combination. So not sure what the heck that means for DWAC, but DWAC apparently popping up in the after hours today. If it does bring in some volume tomorrow, we could look to see if the stock could pop into 18 or 20 bucks and get interesting a little bit, but doesn't look like it's doing too much over there after hours. And Skin looks like dropping big time to the south side on the earnings report, but also very, very unknown trade over here. Never really traded it. It does decent volume on a day-to-day basis, but moving from $4 to $2. Quickly felt like I needed to mention this as the stock continues to make a new 52-week low on the earnings report. For those of you interested to possibly look for another $2, $3 trade on the earnings report side, I think Fisker will be a more fun, more volume, more liquidity trade for us to trade off of. But if you are looking for another one, maybe on the lower end, kind of hidden, maybe cleaner setups, then Skin could be one of those. It does decent volume. I just think more eyes will be on Fisker, so that could give you more opportunities to be wrong and not really pay too much to be wrong. Hence, I'm going to be on that stock in terms of the low price stock, but Skin popped up on the watch board today. Roku was, I guess, one of those other stocks that was a little bit of a regret today, because the stock basically did perfectly what you would want it to do as the close that. The stock did perfectly what you would expect it to do based on the chapter 8 book. It dropped down, held the earnings VWAP, popped off the earnings VWAP, held today's VWAP, and gave you a monster move north. Just sat there and watched and missed out. So now that we are kind of creating a playbook over here, not kind of, but we are creating a playbook, it's time to start following it and actually only look for these. I'm no longer going to randomly get into a trade at spots just because the tape kind of says something to me, even though my trades were correct today. Like, it's not like my trades were wrong today. I'm just tired of not having a system and then getting agitated about, not capturing a big move or not capturing the right trade or whatever it is. It doesn't make sense to just randomly do things. We got to have a system. And that was a big point of the whole show today: how to create a system, how to create a playbook. And for those of you who don't have a playbook, you can just steal one. There's tons of them online out there on the internet, and you're seeing me do that pretty much right now. Steal it from a textbook that Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends wrote for us. So you can just steal it if you don't have one. Okay, just steal a goddamn playbook and only look for those setups and see how that changes in your overall trading lifestyle and your PNL and so on. See how that helps you out. Watching One Piece over there, it says episode 800, but ignore that. I have to still catch up on that episode. Coming back to Roku, missed the monster trade on Roku today. I think there'll be another opportunity on this one. The stock has clearly held earnings VWAP ever since we came out with the earnings move. This was not like a day 2 play. Obviously, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days play. But if you look at how the stock has been trading ever since the earnings came out, it's been trading above the earnings VWAP. It had to test earnings VWAP yesterday, held it successfully, tested earnings VWAP today again, held it successfully, and bounced off of that. So maybe today's move could give us a possible day 2 play that helps us run into this level high over here on Roku that we're looking for, and then break out of this level high and go higher, or reject off of this level high and pull back down. So something to look out for over there on Roku. Today's move, we need to see how the stock would trade off of today's VWAP. What we would need to see buying come in around these areas, and then we would need to see the stock get above itself day's VWAP, which would be tomorrow's VWAP, get above today's VWAP and start bouncing. So kind of like what it did over here with the earnings VWAP, but we needed to see it do with today's VWAP over here on the stock. So we'll be looking out for that as a day 2 play according to upside price action follow through. Can the stock hold above prior day's VWAP in this area? So drawing that picture out for you guys one more time. Can the stock hold above prior day's VWAP? You wanted to see hold above prior day's VWAP. And then can the stock get above today's VWAP? If the stock is going down, originally today's VWAP is probably like this, right? And then once we get above today's VWAP, it's probably looking like that. And you're looking for a long somewhere in these areas, and you're looking for a long somewhere in these areas, and seeing if the stop doesn't get stopped out, you just move your stop slowly higher and higher and higher and higher. Slowly just trail your stops higher, and you're looking to see if this day's continuation can be respected tomorrow also. Now, if it doesn't get respected, if we're pushing down, trading below today's VWAP, right? Pushing down, trading under yesterday's VWAP, we're going right back to the earnings VWAP to test that. I would expect the earnings VWAP to hold up and us to just pinch. Kind of like pinch and do nothing. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Kind of just like pinch and do nothing. This would be yesterday's VWAP. This would be today's VWAP merging with yesterday's VWAP, and this would be earnings VWAP kind of this way, and the stock would just be trading lower somewhere down here if we do trade below yesterday but hold earnings VWAP. I think that's very much a possibility. So if that ends up showing up to us, I might just do nothing, because that negates the whole long theory. We need it to hold here, we need it to bounce from there, and we need to see today's VWAP also get respected and hold today's VWAP also. But if the stock is going under here and trying to respect this area, then yeah, you can look for longs there, but it kind of negates the whole buying theory. Like whoever bought up over here will possibly look to buy longs again in this whole area, not that whole area, in this whole area, sorry. So looking to see if those buyers can show up and respect their price a little bit. Let's come back to chat over here. Damn, I remember First Solar from back when I was in the boiler rooms in New York. You were in boiler rooms? Like actual boiler rooms, like the movie Boiler Room? That's crazy. The reactment play on the first solar will be a good one, but it will have further downside tomorrow. FSLR, what's going on with that one? What's the reactment play with first solar? They had earnings recently. Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, if tomorrow, if the stock wants to trade under today's VWAP and today's the day's VWAP itself, I might be interested on a short side, but looks like it's just ranged sideways a little bit. There could be a trade here though. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna deny it. I'll go long Tesla tomorrow if it holds 221 and change. Until then, I'm shorting it, says TBAS. I'm gonna call you TBAS. You're a stock now. TBAS calls it if the stock holds above 221. Until then, you're shorting it. So from here till here, you're basically looking short, but until here, you're looking long. I like that. I like that. Did you check Tesla yet? The gap looks nice if the CPI is good. Is CPI tomorrow? Oh, it is. I like that. Okay, we got core CPI at 8:30 tomorrow. So finally a little bit of a market catalyst. And if the market gets that, I mean, Jesus, are you kidding me? Yeah, 2% day incoming for the market. Rockets incoming. Boost up. Boost up market. We're launching, ladies and gentlemen. Just get ready for it. I mean, there's no other denial to it past at this point, right? These markets are on a tear. We're watching probably 390 come into play on the market tomorrow. A nice 2% move. I might just trade the QQQ tomorrow. I might just trade the QQQ tomorrow. You know? Doesn't seem like a bad call just to look along on the QQQ if the 930 numbers are good, and if the 930 numbers are not good, just stay away from the long side and look to see what happens to the short side tomorrow, as we do have a pretty decent move back down on the market possible. Why can't I put it on this candle? Thank you. So we'll wait to see what happens over there. So based on how the market is trading right now, CPI number, it's either really good and we pop all the way higher and we're only looking for longs on the market. But if CPI comes out bad, this blue one over here, that's the 30-year bond move that kind of crashed the markets recently. Big crash on the market on the recent days, and the market recovered that area and got back up. I'm expecting to see if that action comes into play. This yellow line over here is the month to date, which is not really that relevant. I guess it is relevant because we're almost at the halfway mark of the month now. Not really, but sure, it's a little relevant. We'll see if any hedge funds are still buying or selling off of that price point. And this is the year-to-date anchor VWAP, which we've seen come into play quite a bit on the market previously. We've yet to see it come into play. I guess if you go in the 5-minute chart, you'll see it come into play a little bit more. Right there a little bit, and then you'll see it come into play a little bit more recently. But the overall, waiting to see how buying comes into play on the stock or in the QQQ basket if tomorrow's CPI ends up being red. But obviously a lot of people over here are looking for CPI to be good and the markets to start running up higher a little bit, looks like. Chatman, it's weird. Oh, you're talking to Chatman. That's where I'd want to see as well. Interesting level for now, 211. Everyone's looking for 211 on Tesla. CPI core number comes in higher or two close in line. I believe the market takes a dump, erasing most of yesterday's gains. Yeah, I would not deny with that statement either. I mean, today's move was a little bit of a muted move. Nothing really happened. I mean, based on how big of a big move to the north side Friday was, You could not really expect a big move today too, and if today took off going into tomorrow's CPI, it was kind of would have been like somebody knew something almost. So you know, why would a big hedge fund without CPI actually come out, start even positioning into something that heavily, because that could really hurt them if they're wrong, correct? So based on that, I think today's move was just an indecision move as CPI is coming out tomorrow. And with CPI's move tomorrow, we'll see more hedge funds positioning themselves to the north side or to the short side. And we wipe out pretty much all of that big candle, expecting we go right back into 370 on the QQQ if CPI comes out bad. So watch for those fun moves on the market tomorrow. Thanks for whoever brought up the CPI day. I think we might just be interested to see how Tesla and QQQ move. I might be glued to Tesla and glued to QQQ tomorrow. Obviously, we have those other big tech stocks such as Apple, Microsoft, and all other big tech companies which are at pretty decent prices. 140 on Amazon continues to hold. Meta pulling right back into the 52-week high? Yeah, 52-week high area. Nvidia pretty close to the all-time high. Nvidia earnings coming out pretty damn soon. Where is Nvidia's earnings? I thought Nvidia's earnings was this week. Okay, not this week. Next week, Nvidia earnings. I really thought Nvidia earnings was this week. I guess not this week. Okay, but so we still got Nvidia coming up, a big name over there. But right now we got a bunch of retail names coming up this week: Alibaba, Target, JD, Home Depot. So we'll keep an eye out for all those. BJ's, if BJ's announcing, that means Dick's Sporting Goods also has to announce. Where's that? Is this the first time where BJ's and Dick's didn't announce on the same day? That's surprising. 21st November. What's Friday? 17th November. Yeah, that's surprising. Usually DKS and BJ's always announce on the first day, allowing us to make some amazing jokes out of that. But no more jokes, I guess, this earnings season from there. But hey, the point is, don't be afraid. No death of earning season. Yeah, we still got big earning names coming up for ourselves very soon, and a lot of fun to be had on the market. But I think tomorrow, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, off of this playbook that we just created, we're looking for either a green to red or a red to green move on the market tomorrow, and we're gonna follow our checklist. We're gonna follow our setup over here, and on Tesla too. I think the way Tesla moved today, I think the way Roku moved today, my eyes are gonna be glued to 2 to 4 stocks at max, and I'm gonna try and execute the best I can on them, and I'm gonna continue doing this for the next till the end of the month. Basically, I want to see how I can stick to just trading purely off my playbook. I'm no longer just going to execute off of certain prices that I'm interested in, and just because there's some size on the tape or size on the this, those are making me money and whatnot, cool, but I'm not seeing any kind of consistency actually build in here. So I want to start building consistency. And the one thing that I always hear people talk about, especially the people that I want to get to become like Lance and other big time traders out there that I look up to, they all hammer down the need of having a playbook. They hammer down the need of having an actual defined setup that you want to trade. And if you were to ask me that, I would not have that until 7 minutes ago, where you saw me finish making this playbook in front of you. So now that I actually have a defined playbook, it's time to start trading that, time to start looking for that, and we'll see how results play off of this very soon coming forward. Can't wait to show you guys how disciplined I am tomorrow off of this, or how indisciplined I am, and how I have to keep working on that going forward. But that's for today. Tomorrow, hopefully, we get to see how I traded this playbook, and we keep building on this playbook for ourselves, and look for those more money making opportunities. Welcome to a brand new week of the TraderPrad show, and come back tomorrow, obviously at 8 o'clock. For those of you who are new and haven't done it already, please hit that like and subscribe. Go check out all my links down below in the description, and also my affiliate sponsors, Trade Ideas, Benzinga, and Traders Think. Without them, none of this this thing would be possible. They also have affiliate sponsor codes right next to them if you want to check them out. Prad15 to get 15% off. Once again, come back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 o'clock. Good night. Ciao.